Yo.
What's up, coworkers?
What up, y'all?
Welcome back to episode 15.
Episode 15. And I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna be nice this time because last introduction I was a little mean to y'all, and I apologize.
They don't care.
I care.
They still gonna talk shit in the reels or in the shorts on YouTube. Anyway, welcome back to another episode of the We Outside Afterwork podcast. I am your host, Dana.
And I'm Aaron, and we have a special guest, one of my best friends for so long, Miss Tynia. How are you?
Hi, guys.
Welcome, Tynia.
Now, Tynia is an author, a teacher,
We need a bomb
a
drop,
podcast.
please.
She has her own podcast, Candid Conversations. And she has her own candle business, so we gotta make sure we get them candles. You know, Christmas coming up too.
Wow.
Make sure y'all get them gifts.
Yeah, well, we'll link all of your stuff in the bio, but we do love a Black queen that is running businesses, multiple businesses.
Yes, queen. Yes, queen.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to just start off the episode with hot takes, which is basically our way of breaking the ice when we have guests. So, in no particular order. Oh, I didn't even see the ones you guys picked.
I didn't see them either.
Okay, perfect.
I guess I saw.
All right, so the first question is, strict parents make for wilder kids. What are your thoughts?
1,000%. I agree with that.
I agree to an extent. So, growing up, my parents, they were sort of strict, meaning that, like, they always wanted to know, because I have an older brother, and he's, like, 2 years older than me. So, they always wanted to know where me and my brother were at for, like, safety purposes. But I feel like when parents have a daughter, like, they just give them more rules than the sons.
So is it strict parents or is it strict parents of daughters?
I would say strict parents of daughters.
Yeah, because sons be wild.
Because my brother, like, he was able to bring, like, when we were in high school, like, he had his first girlfriend. And his first girlfriend was in, like, my grade, so I knew her. But she was able to, like, come over the house and, like, hang out. And to me, it was, like, it was normal for me. But if I ever thought of bringing a guy over, they would just, like, not have it.
But did you?
I didn't, because I knew that I was not about to cross that boundary.
That's called an assumption.
Right. You should have just tried. Because I think there's a difference between structure and strict. So, like, I grew up in a very structured household, not necessarily strict, but there was the same double standard where I was the more responsible child, but I had more rules. One, because I was the oldest, and because I was a female, and I'm small.
Okay, I think that makes a difference when you're the oldest. Yes. I'm younger than my brother, but my parents always reiterated that, like, don't get pregnant in high school and just, like, that kind of thinking. So I was like, I wouldn't even, like, want to bring a guy over. So considering that, Aaron, you have children, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, my son actually went on his first date the other day.
I saw that. You put on your Instagram.
Don't clap for that.
I
Don't clap for that. First off, I'm strict, goddammit. You ain't got nah. But honestly, it's different for a son and a daughter. Like, when my son's doing this, like, you know, a proud dad kind of moment.
But why is it different?
Because that's what boys are supposed to do.
Because girls could get pregnant?
Not even that. It's like, that's my baby. Like, I don't want no little boy to be over there with my daughter. Like, I don't want that.
She's going to experience that eventually.
Which is fine.
That's like a double standard.
But I'm okay with double standards.
That's like with Boozy. Did you remember what he did with his son?
I didn't say I was going to do that.
Okay. If y'all don't know, he basically had his son be with a prostitute to lose his virginity.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
I mean, to each his own. Like,
he was like 13.
If I was his son, I wouldn't mind, but I wouldn't do that for my son. Because I'm going to let him handle his own handle when he needs to, because that's like his own kind of trauma. That's kind of like rape. So you want to be careful with stuff like that. But for me and my daughter's sake, nah, God damn. Nah, it's all good. I'm messing with her. For my daughter's sake, no, he has to be the greatest boy in the world to even entertain her, because that's literally like my lifeblood. My son, I got faith that he's gonna do things the way daddy did.
How old is your son?
That's not good.
What you mean?
Just what I said. I grew up with you.
Oh, so she knows you. But how old is your son? How old
He's
is
12 in 2 weeks. He'll be 12.
Okay, so he went on his first date at 12. Now, women in my family, like, they started dating around, like, 16, 17. Is it going to be the same for your daughter where she's able to date at 12?
No, I think I'll be open to it because society is changing. But at the same time, I want to try to hold off as much as possible. I did the same thing for Jaden. Like, I wasn't pushing him to like date girls, but once he started like talking about
it happens naturally.
Yeah,
because
like,
when you get to middle school, you get a
Go ahead.
crush. Yeah.
I'll never forget the first girl he had a crush on. She played basketball. They was on the same team.
He be telling you about his crushes.
Yeah. So I was like, go ahead, push up on her. I'll try to give him some game, because I got game.
Gotta start learning.
You know what I mean? So I was like, yo, just be like, it's a smile for me. And he was scared. And he just let his mans take her.
Okay.
And I was tight. I was tight. Sorry, Jaden, we got the next one.
It happens like that though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Especially in middle school.
Yeah. That's when girls like really start wilding, especially when I was in middle school. Yeah, the girls that had like the bubble baby fat coats, like they was the ones.
Oh, so just the bubble baby fats.
With the little side ponytail and the big hoops.
As long as he ain't messing with the girls that wear pajamas to Walmart, I'm good. Because
everybody wears pajamas to Walmart. From what I've seen on TikTok,
you wear pajamas?
I don't go to Walmart.
Okay, just making sure. Because we don't fuck with
That's
those.
just my preference, not because I feel a way towards Walmart. I'm a Target kind of girl. But anyway. Yeah. So let's move on to the next question. Yes. And let's let Tynia answer this first. So, do you think college was the best time of your life?
No.
Oh.
No.
Okay. So, what college did you go to and why?
I went to University of Maryland, home of the Terps.
Okay, shout out to Maryland.
Boo.
And why did I go to that college? Or why wasn't it the best time of my life?
Why wasn't it the best time of your life?
So to answer your question, I went to Maryland because when I visited, it just felt like heaven. It felt like a larger than life version of the high school I went to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I wanted to move differently because in high school, like, everyone knew me. But in college, I wanted to, like, fly under the radar.
Like, be low key.
Yes.
Okay.
And that didn't work for me.
Why didn't it work?
Because it was working until it didn't. Because then, like, I went to, I think it was, like, my first day of English. I clicked with this girl. Everybody knew her. So then.
Okay.
And then I started dating this guy that everyone knew. And I was like, all right, well, so much for flying under the radar.
We don't like guys that, like, everybody knows who he is. Because
literally.
Nothing wrong with that.
To me, that's literally who I attract at all times. Yeah. Like, the life of the party, the one everyone knows. Yep, that's.
I usually do too, but for me, it's like, if I decide to actually, like, date this person in public and, like, show them off on Instagram, because, like, it's a known fact. It's a known fact. Men can be embarrassing. Like, they can be embarrassing because, like, once you start posting them, then all these things start to pop up, and then women in your DMs that you did not expect that they talk to are like, I didn't know that he messes with you too. Like, that happens.
First off, that's
I was
no.
gonna say, but
no,
Instagram wasn't even a thing in college, though. So, like, I don't have the same frame of reference.
Okay.
They lying to you, Dana.
I'm saying now, though.
They lying to you because they said, I know you was messing with him too. No, you ain't know I was messing with him now.
I haven't experienced that, but I know I have friends who have. Why is she gonna be a heifer?
Because she's trying to come for you and your man. I don't like that.
Well, I'm not posting anybody on my Instagram until I'm married.
Damn.
Like Issa Rae did.
She still didn't even post.
She'll post them on her story.
Her real one, because those wedding photos, I was like, that's fake. Why?
It was fake?
See?
I didn't know that.
I read an article and it was like, she just did this to let the world know she's married. That's not her actual husband in the photos.
So she did a movie for her wedding, just, I don't know.
I mean, unless it was a non-credible article.
Listen.
So what else about this?
I'm not mad at it.
Because I don't like Issa Rae like that anyway, so we ain't going to keep talking about her. What else about college that wasn't it, though? Because you said it wasn't the best time of your life, and I'm trying to figure out why.
I personally enjoyed high school better.
Mm-hmm. Okay. High school is trash.
They were similar experiences to me, but I enjoyed high school more.
What about post-high school?
It's usually the opposite.
Like, after college, post-high school, like, do you think that transition made you feel better about the fact that you went to college and it wasn't as turned up, or what?
No, I was very turned up in college and high school and after, this.
What about you, Dana? College?
I would say college was the best experience for me. I wouldn't say it was like the best time of my life because I'm still young. Like, I'm only 28 years old. So, like, I'm looking forward to my 30s.
I was just about to say the 30s now. The 30s are
I heard, like, the girls that are in their 30s, like, they say that you just reach like another level of
they
yourself.
libido be popping.
not the libido. I'm talking about like from a mind state point of view.
Not gonna disagree though.
But from like a mind state point of view, like your business, your career, like you just are so sure of yourself. From what I've heard, and like where I'm at, like mentally, I just feel like my 30s is gonna be like super lit. But when it comes to high school or college, or which one was better, I would say it was college for me, because I went to a predominantly white high school, so it wasn't that many like black kids that like hung out together. And I had my little circle, and we would like hang out with each other, like go to different parties or whatever. But as far as like really branching out and like just becoming ourselves, like I didn't really do that until college, because like I also had a car, and I just felt more comfortable in my skin to like really make different friends in different friend groups. So I was able to just experience that from like that point of view.
And I don't think a lot of people recognize how like important that black culture in the colleges that we went to felt. Like, no, we didn't go to HBCUs, but we was around niggas. Like, I didn't have white friends in college. Like, everybody in my dorm room, everybody that we ate with, everybody that we partied with, it was all groups of black people.
Well, the house parties were usually like white fraternities at Kane.
Every once in a while, but, you know, we didn't even party with them. It was just, we knew that's where the party was.
True. They hosted the party.
Yeah, and everything was cool. It was copacetic. It wasn't like we was beefing or anything. But, you know, for me, because I went to the same school as you, a different time.
We went like how many years apart? What years did you go?
I was there from 2008 to 2010.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I went 2012 to 20.
Yeah, we missed each other.
Okay. Oh, and I missed both of you, because I was there 2011 to 2012.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I got it's called a second degree, but it was not my second degree. But I got that from Kane.
Yeah.
But it's interesting hearing you guys talk. Yeah. Because Maryland was such a huge campus. It's a PWI, but the black population is so large there. I'll say black and brown, period. It was like we had an HBCU inside of the PWI. So we talked to, you know, the white people, but it wasn't like a necessity.
Yeah, it was.
We had our own and we know Dana community, like a large community. Yeah, I don't like small talk.
I don't either. Like that's why I hate corporate. Like, I'm not gonna hold you. Like, being in an office every day, like, I feel my soul cringe when I gotta walk past a coworker or somebody that I know, and it's like they want to just like catch up on some like,
I'm a
how's
ducker.
Your family doing?
You see people now, I be like,
yo,
I definitely duck.
Trying, but like when you stuck in them hallways where this person's coming that way and then you going straight. That happened to me today when I ran into one of my coworkers.
Do you keep your headphones in your ear?
I keep one of my AirPods in.
It don't even be playing nothing. You just use it as a deterrent.
No, mine should be on. Oh, I be playing podcasts.
They don't care. They don't care. I will be on the phone at work and people will start a full-blown conversation with me.
Yeah, they be having too emotional of a conversation with me though. It's like,
but you're the manager though.
I know. She just told me like how, like my daughter, she's on drugs and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, God damn. Literally, and you can't walk away from them shits.
Right.
Yeah, it's like,
okay. How do y'all handle that? Because I think that's a perfect segue into
I literally stare there. I'm like, okay.
Okay, so do you think they're like looking for something from y'all, like some type of emotional support, or just like someone to vent to?
Someone to vent to. Yep. It's pure empathy. Just understand where I'm coming from. If you understand me, I feel like why I'm feeling the way I feel is validated. So like, yeah, you know, I'm not going to give you the perspective like you're wrong unless you like really fucking wrong. Because I tell somebody in a heartbeat like, yo, you're bugging. But most of the time it's just, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. It sucks because like people be going through grief and stuff like that, but I can't handle your grief for you. So the best thing I could do is just, I hear you. I'm here for you.
Do you think they kind of do that just so that in case they take a day off or they need some time off, that you understand their situation better? So it's like, even if they're lying, it's like, well, I told you the backstory, so if this pops up, you know what's going on. So if I take a day off, then it's not that big of a deal.
I haven't experienced too much of that. Most of the time when people talk to me about it, I know it's honest because it's consecutive. Yeah. Like they'll talk to me on Monday and then on Wednesday they'll bring it back up and then 2 weeks later. So I don't think that that's a thing unless you know like somebody that's a habitual faker. Like I'm sick. Like no, you're not. You're fucking lying. You had COVID 7 times already.
Stop
like,
it.
Yeah.
Get some help.
What about you, Tynia? Like, what's your experience with that? Just like
so I'm not
coworkers
going to
being
put this
crazy.
person out there, but there's like
Employees.
one person I work with in particular who always finds a way to corner me. And like, I'll literally be, so, you know, I'm a teacher.
Okay.
You're supposed to get security to come watch class. Security is never anywhere. Like, you just have to go make a run for it real quick. And I low-key threaten my kids. So, like, they know not to misbehave when I'm not in the room. So I have, like, maybe 2 to 5 minutes to go to the bathroom. She knows this because she's also a teacher. And she stops and talks to me about everything going on in her life and everything stressing her. And I'm like,
God.
I get it because you're comfortable with me. But, like, I low-key don't fuck with you. High key though. High key.
Okay, let's get into that. So you are a teacher. What grade do you teach?
I teach high school. So right now I teach freshmen because I don't know if I should say where I work, but
No.
in the place where I work, we have several different high schools, because if I say that amount, you'll be able to figure it out. But they separated out the freshmen in each of the high schools. So I work in an annex. So I really only deal with the freshmen.
Okay.
And
And
sorry.
I was just gonna say, because I have Ivan, who's actually coming on next week. Like, he is I think he's like a substitute teacher for, it might be high school or
They
middle
have
school.
those? What?
Yeah.
Substitutes exist?
So it's like teachers that teach like those blocked, what is it, periods they
It's
call
like
it
an
now?
adjunct?
Sort of, where like the periods that don't really count. So something that's like a lunch
You mean like
period.
a special,
I don't know.
like gym?
Yeah, it's sort of like a
Music.
gym, but it's like those free periods too when they need help with their homework.
I ain't paid attention to that much in school. so I
His
don't know.
thing is that has said to me, because he was on my podcast before I had this, like I did my own podcast, and he was just telling me about it. But his challenge was just dealing with high school students and how like they feel so comfortable talking to him and like telling him like their deepest, darkest things that they're dealing with at home. And he's like, I'm not really equipped to kind of just like solve their problems. So what would you say is one of the most challenging things that you deal with being a teacher in high school?
So like, even if you are equipped, like I am equipped for it, it becomes taxing at times. So like, literally just this past week, I was dealing with a lot of that. And so every Friday I have my kids write journals, just because simply they need to put pen to paper and get their thoughts out and express themselves.
Exactly.
And because I do that every Friday, I give them a prompt, but some kids just write whatever they want, which is an option. Okay. And I deal with the demographic that I teach. They experience a lot of trauma, like
In the Black community?
Black and brown.
Minorities.
Yes. And so I can't even count on my hands. Like, I don't have enough fingers how many children I've taught that already have been incarcerated, have ankle bracelets, have been in drive-bys, like during the school year. And like, miss, I can't come to school. I mean, I'm here, but like, I don't have my backpack because it's evidence, or seeing their parent shot and bled out in front of them, or it's just like.
You know what that sounds like? That movie Freedom Riders.
That's what everyone says. Do they? Yes.
That's
I'm like, oh, this is just my life.
Movies. I've seen that like 100 times. But like the journals was one of the things in the movie. Is that why you have them journal? Okay.
I have them journal because I journal, and I find it to be helpful
helps.
for me.
Okay. Yeah, but in the movie, I'm sure have you seen it?
Years ago. I think I saw it when I was in high school.
Got it. But that was one of the things that the teacher, I forgot her name in the movie, but she literally bought journals out of her own pocket and just had them like write down their thoughts, because that was one of the things they were dealing with. Like, they barely had food to eat that night, or they didn't have a way home. One of the boys, he was like scared to go home because he was going to get jumped by like a gang. So it's just very traumatic.
It's very real. Like, the demographic that I teach, a lot of them are port of entry, or they come from their parents send them here from their origin countries to get them away from like MS-13 and stuff like that. Oh, wow. And so then the gangs find them here, and the parents end up having to pay the gang to stay away from their kid. Or a lot of my kids walk home, so they get jumped underneath the bridge like while they're walking. It's a lot.
Shit.
And it's like, we know about so many different gangs, but they're like neighborhood gangs also.
Yeah.
So it's just like all that is compounded. So to create a safe space in my room, my kids aren't even allowed to curse in my room. They can't throw up any gang signs. And I'm like, I'm not that teacher that lives under a rock. Like, stop.
Yeah.
So do you feel I don't want to like make you feel some kind of way when I say this,
What?
but you're kind of diminutive in stature, right?
Oh, because I'm little?
Yeah. Do you
No,
feel,
it's
do you
wild,
feel,
right?
Leave it
Yeah.
to Aaron.
No, I'm
You
the
like my vocabulary, right? Diminutive.
No, leave it to you to point that out.
No, because seriously,
No,
as a
and
teacher,
because
Oh,
like
that's
the
a thing?
kids, especially because I teach high school. So when they first see me, they're like, "Man, she's little. Is she a student?" Even though my kids wear uniforms, it's wild, right?
Do they think they could take advantage of you because of your
Well,
height?
kids in general, from middle school to high school, that's that age group that's just gonna test you until you set a boundary.
Got it.
My kids know from the door, the moment I open my mouth, they're like, "Oh, I can't fuck with her."
Yeah.
Like they know I'm super strict, but
Yeah.
like I'm super chill and fun. Don't push me. You're gonna either get the nice version or you're gonna get the bitch. Which one do you want today?
And I heard that's what you have to do with kids. Like, you have to just show them who's boss, because if not, they'll just keep pushing you up.
Oh my God, they run over teachers all the time.
Yeah.
So like size doesn't mean anything. I think it's a presence thing.
and I think it works in corporate America as well as like my capacity. I'm the nice leader. Like, I'm the guy that everyone runs to and thinks that I'm going to give them their way and all that kind of stuff, because that's just my natural disposition. But you got to establish that firm boundary, or you going to have people, man, Aaron's here. I ain't going to do shit today.
Yeah.
Like, hell no, that ain't how this going down. You got me fucked up if you think my livelihood is going to be based on you think you can get over on me. You can leave. I will escort you out this building my goddamn self. But, when you were talking about Evan is his name? Yvonne, sorry. When he was being a teacher and said he's not equipped for it, it reminded me, because I was going to be a teacher when I went to Kane. I was a phys ed major at one time, and I took a child psychology class. And it was like so much that you had to learn, suicide and just your traumas and different things. It's like, yo, this is a fucking lot. Like, I feel bad that these are children that go through this, but then again, we there to help them out, like, especially as a teacher. So, thank you for that. Like, I don't know if y'all get y'all flowers enough, but
We don't.
we
Ever, actually.
definitely gotta appreciate
Shout
y'all.
out to the teachers that teach high school. But I did want to circle back to something that you mentioned, how in your industry, like, how you feel like you have to like put out that presence as well, to set that boundary for your employees, because you are a manager.
Yeah.
I would say from the corporate standpoint, because that's my day-to-day job, the way I do it is, a lot of people, they send emails. And a lot of the emails are usually like passive aggressive. And it's always like, per my last email, or just to clarify, like that kind of vocabulary. So the way that I set my dominance is, I kind of have to like reword my emails to kind of like talk shit in that way as well. So I think that's an important skill in my industry that I have to learn how to do. But I think in all industries, that's just something that you have to just do to like show respect and show people that like
You can't be fucked with.
You can't be fucked with, exactly.
Like,
Same.
fuck out my
It's
face.
my everyday life as a teacher.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't like to do their jobs, and then on the back end, like around report card time, they were like, "Oh, you need to change this kid's grade." I'm absolutely not. And then they want to CC everyone above you.
Oh,
I'm the wrong
they
person to
love-
do
they
that
love
with,
a
because I'm
CC.
very good with my
I'm
words.
a BCC
Yeah.
type
So
of
I'm
person.
gonna make you look dumb in the email and show
I'm
everyone
actually
that you're not
that.
doing your
I'm
job.
Exactly like that. Like, you gotta respond in a way that like you know your shit, but also it's like, yo, you're not talking to someone who just wasn't educated and like don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Nah, fuck
especially
that.
working with like white men. I feel like I always
No, but
It's all good.
that's makes
but
sense.
that's
though.
my day to day. It's like when I first started in tech, one of the things was like, before there was like a big blow up of like, because in technology, like shit is always going wrong, right? Before it always got to that point, like I was always that person that would like notice certain things, and like, let's say a server went down or whatever, I'll hit up the higher ups. I'm like, hey, I noticed this is running slow. Like, maybe we should check this. They'll kind of like disregard what I say, and then they'll be like, oh, maybe you should check this, this, and this. And then like the next day it's like, oh, the server is down, and like we need to like alert people. And I'm like, I told y'all this like 24 hours ago.
Are you
But-
dumb?
Yes.
Okay, but that's just
But
one
question,
of the things.
did you tell them that, like, as an overall, like, here, I'm just letting you know, or is that a part of your job to like help troubleshoot ahead of time?
It's not a part of my job, but it's one of the things where, like, the way that I just can tell when certain things are going downhill. Like, if we get, like, an influx of complaints about something, or, so when I first started, it was always the email where, like, the send and receive emails will just, like, start popping up with error messages or whatever. So I'll realize there's like an influx of these kind of complaints and be like, hey, maybe somebody should check this instead of like, oh, connect with this one particular user and like try this, and this. And until it's like they have like a solid, I guess, alert from whatever system they use, now it's like, oh, now there's a problem. But I said this before, and you didn't really, like, believe me, but until, like, you know.
You got to put a little exclamation in your...
Nah, you just got to stop.
Yeah, but it's one of the things when you're like, in a lower... I wouldn't say... So when you're just in a lower tier at a job, it's like you're not really taken serious in that sense until you get to those higher positions, which, like, I am in a higher position than I was when I first started in technology. But that was just one of the things that I had to deal with, and it was very frustrating, and I fucking hated it.
Yeah, nah, fuck that. You got to kick down doors. Like, I'm going to make you notice me.
Yeah.
Like, I'll figure it out.
My favorite thing is, I just work here. That's literally what I say. I just work here. I can see the problem, like you said, I can see the problems coming, but, like, no one's going to listen. So why am I wasting my energy?
That's where I'm at now, though.
I just work here, guys.
Yeah,
I don't know.
like, y'all don't pay
figure
me
it
enough.
out.
Y'all don't pay me enough. Yeah.
Can I figure it out in 2 seconds? Absolutely. But I don't get paid like you get paid.
Exactly.
And you sitting down on your ass all day, and I'm not.
Yeah.
So, do you?
And we're usually the ones dealing with more of the bullshit
Exactly.
than those other people higher up. But let's go into our first topic, because that wasn't even on the outline. So one of the topics that we have is, could you date someone that did not support your business ventures, even if they treated you like a queen?
Or king.
Or king. So, Tynia, what would be your response to that?
Well, it's Tynia.
Tynia, my bad.
I think being in I wouldn't say it was similar. Support to me is very important.
Yes.
In general. So if I'm starting a business, I do want the support of my mate. I don't care how well you treat me. That is a deal breaker for me.
I agree.
I don't. I think sometimes it's okay for somebody to give perspective, right? Because I'm the negative perspective all the time. And it might not have been in a relationship, but with my cousin, he always got this harebrained idea. Hey, we're going to do a business. This is what we're going to do. Okay. Did you review this business plan? Do you understand the codes? Do you understand
taxes? But that's still support. Because you're not letting them go in blind.
But I'm shutting that shit down unless you got something. And I think a lot of people see the shutdown as a lack of support, whereas you see it like, okay, he at least pays attention and cares a little bit. But most people, if you tell them stuff like that, they get very, very turned off from that. Like, damn, every time I bring something to you, you're negative. Like, I don't want to be bothered with that.
I don't think that's negative. The questions you asked would lead him or her in the right direction, or maybe things they hadn't thought about.
Yeah, because we definitely bring wet bottoms to real life, you know. So
what?
It's a
I would say for me though, like, if you really truly care about somebody, the support just comes naturally.
Yep.
Like, if you see how hard or how passionate they are about a business venture or, like, something they want to get into, and you claim that you, like, really, like, care about this person and, you know, you love them and you just want to see them, like, live up to their full potential, I think why wouldn't you want to support their business? And if not, if you're getting that opposite energy, it's either some type of jealousy or some, like, underneath intention that is not necessarily conducive to you.
What about honesty?
How would that look long term?
What about honesty?
What do you mean?
Some people have ideas that you're just not built for this.
Why would you say that though?
Because it can be a very realistic concept. Everything is not possible just because you think you can do it.
I'm one of those people where if you're interested in something and you just want to see if you could potentially be good at it and, like, make some type of money, why not start it? Like,
you never know in position to fail. Like some people, if you fuck around and fuck this up, you setting yourself back. You might set you back
as
along
far as like
with me.
financial.
Could be financially, could be at your job. Like you could have had a great job and just decided I'm gonna quit because I got this idea and it's gonna blow.
Well,
and it don't blow.
the things with ideas,
It's a very
though,
Gen Z mentality.
Yeah, most people though, especially nowadays, that people that do end up quitting their jobs and starting their own business, like they tend to do it on the side. So after working their 8-hour shift, they'll sacrifice sleep and use that time to, let's say, if you want to start a podcast, like you go to the podcast studio after hours and put in that extra work and do some extra research on how to like get your podcast out there. And then when your podcast takes off, because there's a lot of people whose story that are now like full-time podcasters.
And it's also a lot of people whose story that aren't full-time podcasters because it didn't work.
Right, but my whole point was like, you're not gonna quit your job until
there's
realize...
a good amount of people that do. I think that's
Really?
a very yes. I think that's a very
dumb.
millennial mindset of having something on the side and then having your main source of income. And then once your side hustle is built up to where it's your main hustle or better.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's the minority.
And I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying,
the Gen
Dana.
Zs, because the Gen Zs, they think it's like quick money to just become like YouTubers or TikToks.
I'm gonna be an influencer. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get fast money, and then if my boss does something to piss me off, I'm not going to work today. I'm gonna just go drive DoorDash. People do it all the time. They just quit their jobs.
No, that's dumb. If that's y'all need to do better.
But that's why I'm saying like it's easy to say it's not support when somebody is like, ho, you doing a lot. You need to pump your brakes. But if you've seen it, especially from a person who, this the one, this gonna hit. Like, okay, maybe it will, but we need to make sure you got a lot more concrete of a plan.
Yeah, I would say if you do it from like a smarter perspective, like if you know this job that you're going to, even though if you hate it, it's still your main source of income. Because I'm big on like using your main source of income to support and fund your passions. And then depending on like how long it takes for your passions to take off, because I think you should give yourself 3 months. If you're starting to make money from your passions, like give yourself 3 months to really like make that regular income. Then it's like, okay, now I'm stable enough to where I'm able to cover all my bills based off my passions and like whatever else you're into, real estate, whatever. And then it's like, okay, now you can quit your job. If you're just quitting your job willy-nilly and putting all your focus into your passions, to me it's like, well, yeah, now you're going to basically suffer because you won't be able to pay your bills, and now everything else goes downhill because your dumbass quit your job when you knew that you weren't able to fund everything from your passions.
But it doesn't also have to be you quitting your job. It could just be you're investing time, energy into something that just honestly might not be it. Some people have dreams that they just can't let go, and I understand.
Though.
Listen, I'm not telling people not to try. I'm big on doing. Okay, I don't like trying. Trying means it's opportunity to fail. Just do it.
Either way, yeah, try, do. That's what I mean.
But so many people out here, they just got this like, I'll just give it a go. Like, nah.
No,
if you don't do it, do it.
Yeah, go all in.
But that means you don't give a fuck about the support or not. Like, I appreciate any support I get from anybody. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because I'm doing it because I want to.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of people get fucked up because it's like they're not really all in. They're not truly invested in this shit.
You know what it is too? I think a lot of people don't have the confidence or the mindset either.
No.
Like some people, they like the idea of like, oh yeah, let me, for example, TikTok, since we just mentioned TikTok. And because it's so easy for people to become influencers, and I don't really be on TikTok, but I just heard it's just easy to really like monetize your content. But if you do that and you're making like little bits of money and stuff like that, a lot of people will possibly quit because it's like, oh, I'm not really making the money that I see these other influencers making. But you got to keep going. Like, have the confidence in yourself that you can possibly like make this happen.
And I think a lot of people also don't realize this is a very, very new concept, being an influencer and a YouTuber and all this kind of stuff. We don't know what next year is going to look like. We don't know if this bubble going to burst. So you're putting all your eggs in one basket. And we don't even know how this basket going to look in the next 10 years.
Well, you know the government, a bill was introduced, I think, 2 days ago. They're trying to ban TikTok.
I saw that.
Yeah, well, it's Chinese, so you know I fuck with Chinese.
Hey.
Hey, Chinese people, I fuck with y'all. I fuck Dana. You fuck with them too, right?
Let's
We
move
fuck-
on.
My question though, because you brought up TikTok, and so in terms of profession, did you see? Because I listened to this other podcast, I forget what it's called, but it's a teacher podcast.
Okay.
But they got like TikTok and Instagram famous during the pandemic. But a lot of teachers were getting in trouble because of where they're recording. If they're recording in their class or they were at home, but just the fact that
recording
they were
their
making.
students too, right? Wasn't that an issue? Like some of the parents didn't want their. I feel like I've seen that somewhere. Like some of the parents didn't want their
Yes.
kids showed on other people's social
So
media.
I feel like this is creating a I need to go viral type of thing, because then the instance with the nurses that got fired
Saw
because of the
that.
ick challenge.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I was going to ask you, how do you feel about that?
I don't know what the ick is. Like,
Okay,
oh, well,
just to give
never
some
mind.
reference.
Nah, I think I know what the ick is. Maybe I shouldn't.
don't.
What do you
You're
think it is?
thinking Of it
It's
so
not, it's
different.
not like, oh, that's not what it is. Like,
No.
like I got the ick.
No.
Okay. No.
See,
What
I knew
did you
that's
think
what
the
he was
ick was?
thinking.
Like cooties.
That's what he was thinking. Like ick, something like that bothers you. My ick.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know.
Yeah. So, just to give some reference, it was a group of nurses. They were predominantly black, I believe.
Yes.
Right? So they made it was a TikTok originally of like icks that they don't like when pregnant women are about to give birth or in the maternity ward in a hospital.
Okay.
So some of them was like when someone comes to the nurse's station asking for this and
Oh, yeah.
that. Yeah. So and all of them, they had their faces showing, and I think they had their badge.
And they recorded at work,
Yeah, they had their badge showing of like where
like
they
when
work.
they should be working on company
time.
Listen, I literally wrote up my entire staff when I worked at Target for doing that same shit. And they on the security camera dancing on the goddamn tables
making
and sliding on
TikToks
the
and
floor.
stuff.
I'm like, yo, it's the holidays too. Like, you don't do no shit like that. What the fuck is wrong with y'all?
I see a lot of teachers now. They're posting like their students in like gym class and stuff doing a TikTok dance, and they're doing it with them.
I mean,
would
but
feel
so-
if it's gym
ways.
class, at least they're
But
active.
no, but so from a teacher perspective, the kids ask us to do TikToks with them. So a lot of times it's not even the teacher TikTok, it's the kids
It's the
TikTok.
kids. Does that matter? Like whose TikTok it gets
I
posted
personally
on?
do not like to do TikToks with the kids. I
Have
think
you
I've
done it?
one, but it wasn't
Okay.
a dance one because I'm very mindful of like how my body is and how it shows up on camera.
Okay.
And if I dance a certain way, like it could be just perceived too many different ways.
Exactly.
So the one TikTok I did, I gave them like holiday Christmas glasses, and so it was just this one girl. She just had everyone make a silly face and put the glasses on. So it was just the
Okay,
two
that's
teachers she liked,
harmless. That's
and that's so I
harmless.
was like, okay,
Okay.
that's fine. You can post that.
Yeah. But I think it's okay if you give like the consent. But to circle back to your question about the ick thing, I don't disagree that the nurses lost their job.
So you think they should have been fired?
Yes. Just because like you didn't have to wear your badge. Like there were just certain things that they did that made it obvious of where they worked, and just like it put everyone's personal care in jeopardy. Because let's say you see that TikTok and you live in that area and you're a pregnant woman and you're going to that hospital. Now you're like low key a little like anxious or feeling away because you know you're about to be seen by one of these nurses.
Yep.
And you don't want to like do too much, or like it's very like sensitive, and I don't think it was appropriate.
I don't think I have the space to speak on that.
Like,
so.
do you think you would, can you express yourself and how you feel despite your profession?
Yeah, if you had a pregnant girlfriend.
I wouldn't. I personally wouldn't care because
wouldn't care?
it doesn't affect me. I know everyone takes breaks and they take time at work to do random shit.
Well,
so I wouldn't trip on
you
that.
said that you rid up your employees
Yes,
who were
because
making
it
TikToks.
was 15 minutes worth of this shit of 20 people doing it. Like, it's one thing if it's one person doing it.
It was like 6 of them.
It was like
the
6
whole
or 7.
front,
Yeah,
front
no.
desk.
Was it all at one time,
No,
or was it?
and TikToks take a long time to make.
So I'm assuming, because I haven't seen it, I'm assuming that one person did one thing and then they did the next person, did the next person. That's
I
how a
don't know
lot
how
of
it was
TikToks typically
filmed,
go.
but either way, like from a managerial standpoint, I think because you just said you rid up those employees that did it, so would you be against those employees getting fired?
Yeah, I wouldn't fire them unless
Okay.
it's something consecutive. I've warned you about this already. I I don't know if hospitals are at will and stuff like that, but we have standards and procedures that we go through to terminate an employee. We don't just fire you because we want to. Even if this is violation of our social media policy, which is grounds for termination, so it is entirely possible. We, at least my companies over the last few years, you have to go through a formal written warning, a formal counsel, and then a final warning prior to even getting fired. So that's 3 infractions before we can even let you go.
I think it's just because it's in the public eye, and I feel like nurses and teachers are treated very, very differently. We're held to a different microscope. Like, so
It's 'cause
even
it's
teachers
women, in all honesty.
No, I think because it's a hospital.
No, I think it's because that's a
I think
women
I think it's the
driven-
profession. So like even during the pandemic, some of the teachers, they were recording from the comfort of their own home and making TikToks, and they were going viral, and the Board of Educations were threatening them. Like, you're going to lose your job if you do this. Just because it looked like they were in a classroom. It was a green screen.
Yeah, no, that
Like,
doesn't make sense.
There should be a protocol that should be followed. I don't believe they should have lost their jobs. They lost their jobs because the hospital was put on this larger scale, and now everyone's looking at the hospital.
Okay, that's a different perspective, but all right, I agree. Okay, so let's get into you and your business. We have a few minutes left. We got about like 15, 20 minutes left. So I do just want to get into your background. So you do wear a lot of hats, and you have a lot of businesses.
I wear a lot of, I was like, wait, I wear a lot. I took that so literal. I was like, I wear hats.
For somebody,
No.
for somebody
Hypothetical.
that knows so much literature, you would think she would give a
Listen,
metaphor.
I was
No.
so focused on what she was asking, and I was like, wait, I wear a lot of hats?
Speaking of hats, can I just give a quick shout out to PJ? Represent PJ on this one.
Why don't you have it on?
Because I got my
Because your braids?
yeah, because shout out to Cadence. I got your Beretta. So, I had to give,
He has 2 barrettes in his braids.
They're blue.
yeah.
My favorite color.
You should have got it to match your shirt.
I'm sorry, this is a really, really rushed job. So
Okay.
the
We like the
outfit-
braids though.
Thank you.
It's dope. Because the afro looked a little
It's okay.
mangled.
No, it's a shrinkage. Like I thought shrinkage was bad in the pool, but it's even worse. No,
Your hair looks long though. Like it looks like it grew a lot.
Hey, yo!
Anyway, let's get into your podcast. What's the name of your podcast? And what do you talk about?
My podcast is Candid Conversations, and it's literally that. It's candid. We talk about whatever pops into my brain.
Okay.
And she likes to write notes and don't tell you about
It's
it.
not true. I literally
What do
just
you
write
mean?
questions so that I don't lose my train of thought. Because especially when I record with Aaron, we go off on tangents.
So you guys did a podcast together. Just let the people know.
What we do, like 2?
2 or 3, actually.
What did
I
y'all
think.
talk about in these podcast episodes?
We talked about what was it?
I don't even remember what the first one was about.
White movies.
Oh,
the
yes.
top 5 white movies of
White
all
movies.
time. Yeah. Last conversation we talked about relationships and polyamory, polygamy, monogamy, different things of that nature. You know where I lean. I'm on the Diddy side of the game. And
What do you mean the Diddy side of the game? Expand on that.
Well, you can just live in love.
What does that look like to you? What does that mean?
It looks like if I enjoy someone's company, I enjoy their company. It doesn't mean it's a relationship. It doesn't mean it's a situationship. It just means that we good, we vibing, we cool. So,
just to give some backstory, you're talking about how now all of these women are being pictured with Diddy. And he's
he
either
having
kissing them, he had a new baby.
flying them out. Like, hey,
It's a big canon life.
it's not that, you know how I feel.
Okay, all right, let me ask you guys a question then. Just a quick little side note. Do you think because he's a billionaire, it makes it okay that he has these multiple women? Or do you think money doesn't even play a factor? I think it plays a factor because he's a billionaire and these women are getting something from him. What are y'all thoughts?
I don't think it makes it right or wrong. People are going to be.
Yeah.
I think it makes it easier to do
Because
it.
he has a lot of money.
But I watch a lot of TV, and I think I was watching Grown Up Hip Hop one time, and ODB's son subscribes to the same mentality and just wants to populate the world and have babies and meet new women, and he's not making Diddy and Nick Cannon money.
And then on top of that, I don't think money makes women happy.
No.
I think moments and time.
Spending time.
And granted, now we talked about does money make you happy on the last episode, but I think granted, Diddy can buy these women cars and fly them out, but they all got money.
Yeah.
So it's like, do they really need that or want that? They just like being focused.
He seems like a fun person. I'm not gonna lie. Like, he has his liquor company, De Leon, which we had his tequila on here.
Mm-hmm.
But just like the energy from his videos, like, it's just so contagious. Like, I literally get happy from his reels. Talking about, I think it was like Fuck Fridays.
Hey,
some
Revolt,
Fridays.
Diddy, if you want to take Dana out, we definitely.
I did not say I'm looking to be on his roster. I just said he looks.
He
like
don't even
fun.
have a roster.
Either way, I'm not trying to be one of his women. He just seems
That's
fun.
crazy.
So I could understand why.
I mean, I listened to a
him.
podcast that was from Nick Cannon's. I don't know what number she falls in, but she had one of his most recent ones. But she also had his twins. I think her name is Abby De La Rosa or whatever.
Okay.
And she was pretty much like, it's just a vibe. Like, she didn't. It was supposed to be a one night stand. They vibed. They just kept dating.
And what's wrong with that? Do y'all see anything wrong with that?
I don't personally.
That's y'all.
asking.
I can vibe with somebody, but to me, children is a different level. Like,
Wow.
I'm not gonna have children with someone that I vibe with. Because I want that foundation and I want that, like, some type of stability where I feel like we're going to be a family.
Well,
And-
she said in the interview that she does not want to settle down and live this lifestyle forever, but in the moment, this is what she's doing.
Okay.
She knows eventually she wants to have a family unit with a significant other to raise her children with.
But just not right now.
Right.
And she's okay with
She's
the
young.
situation.
I think she was like 23 when she met him, and she was just like, "Oh, I'm living this life." And I know he's out there with other women, but it's what gets to her is when he sends them like the exact same Valentine's Day gift, and she's like, "Bro, you could have just
Yeah, there's no thought into that.
right."
There's plenty of thought into it. He
No.
thought about what to get all the people that matter to him.
You could have got him like
he
a
got them
different
literally the
color.
exact same thing.
Listen, I
Like,
sent
if-
the same video to the exact same. So, Nick Cannon, I learned from the best. You the GOAT,
Nah.
brother.
She put him on blast.
I think it just depends on what the woman wants. Like, if you're okay with that situation, as far as like that baby mom, then cool. I know for me, that's not what I want, and that's not how I see myself having a child with somebody.
And I think that's the gist of it. Like, what is okay with you? If it's okay with you, cool. If it ain't, cool.
But the
It
thing
might
is,
be.
like,
It
he's a
might not.
celebrity, and a lot of the information is going to be like put out to the public, so people are going to have their opinions on things.
Yeah, I don't think the celebrity really matters. I think it just makes it a story. But you look around, especially, it's some gutter rats in the hood that got multiple women with no bread. They in and out of jail. Sometimes you just like what you like, even if this dude ain't shit for you.
Yeah, because we all know women.
We all
who
know a
deal
lot
with
of-
ain't shit
and
men
it's
have
not just
their
and the
families.
reverse. And the reverse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the vibe is what initially connects them, and that's how you start building the foundation. If you both are on the same page, I think that's what's important in any relationship, to be on the same page.
Exactly. No, that is true.
Like, I don't subscribe to that lifestyle. It's not for me. I'm very jealous. Not jealous. Like,
you said jealous.
No, I am. Like, if I'm dating someone and I'm
possessive.
committed, like,
Territorial.
that's what I was going to say. I'm territorial. I'm not jealous. Like, don't fuck with my man. Like, what?
Okay.
Don't mess with
I
my
literally
man.
sing that song all the time in my head.
I don't know the words.
Because I'm very loyal. So, like, I expect loyalty in return.
But what's
Yes.
not loyal?
I think for me, like,
that's why I said
like
you have to be on the
get-
same page.
I like to be reciprocated for the energy that I give.
But who said they're not? Y'all asking for loyalty and reciprocation. If I give you that, that does not mean I have to be territorial or stuck with you. I
I
can
don't
give that to
disagree
you.
with you. I said, for me, I want to be with one person and that one person to be with me.
Yeah, I mean,
That
if you leave it
part.
at that, then we good. Understood.
Yeah, no.
But
We
man,
know
we
you
got life.
don't subscribe to the monogamy.
I don't. I think.
Okay.
I think monogamy is. I actually
We
don't.
got it at
Hold on,
this
time
point.
out. I don't
Like
want to
Dr.
say.
Umar,
I
didn't
don't
he
want to
just post
say.
something like that?
I don't want to say I don't subscribe to monogamy. I think monogamy should not be forced. That's a difference in
I
not
agree with
subscribing to it. I believe when you know, and I don't think a lot of people know. I think a lot of people just want, and that's two
Hold
different
on.
things.
So you
Trial and
said
error.
that you don't subscribe to it, but you don't want to be forced. Do you feel like someone's forcing you to be monogamous?
No, I think that's society. I
Mm-hmm.
think society has conditioned us that you want that husband, you want that wife, you want this nuclear family, and
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't necessarily have to be the only way.
That's why polygamy is illegal in so many states.
Yeah, and I don't also subscribe to polygamy either. I think that's an idiotic concept because why would you want one girlfriend,
wives.
let alone multiple. Like, you niggas is
It's a lot of
bugging.
work.
Oh God.
Shit.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so any last minute things that Aaron you would like to add before we wrap it up?
Well, Christmas is Saturday. Sunday.
Yes.
Shit.
Saturday. I think it's Saturday.
Damn,
no, Sunday, because Christmas
Sunday.
Eve is Saturday.
My brain don't work. Aside from Mariah Carey getting deleted off my playlist for All I Want Is Christmas.
Speaking of, I saw her in concert last week.
How was
at
it?
Madison Square
was
Garden.
she cracking or what?
I went by
was she singing
myself.
to the track?
So I went by myself, and she was singing live, but she did have the choir in the back, and then she had you could tell there was like something added to it. Wasn't auto tune, but it was just something to like make her voice sound like very smooth. But for the most part, from me, like she definitely hit a lot of notes. Like she sang a lot of like throwback songs. She sung like "We Belong Together." She sung, what's that song with
my karaoke
Emancipation of Mimi is a great album.
Yes, that's my
a great
shit.
album.
That's literally when I fell in love with her, and then I went back to listen to
She
her.
sang
her
Honey,
90s.
Kelly.
I'm about to
think you
say
posted that.
Honey, Butterfly. Like,
Yeah, she sung all of those, but like she hit those notes. But there were other points where, like, it was a little shaky. But again, this isn't the '90s, so like her voice has
she hasn't
changed
really
over
taken
time.
care of her voice over time.
Maybe, I don't know, because she was literally drinking tea on stage, and it was a little obnoxious. Because she was like, "I need someone to bring in my tea." I'm like, "Girl, go get your fucking tea."
That's what she's known for, though. She's a diva.
She very much so. So, like that was fun. Like that was a great way.
Is that where she brought her daughter out?
Mm-hmm.
Her daughter's voice is
Monroe.
beautiful.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Yeah, she gets her talent from Nick.
Does she?
He has a great singing
No,
voice.
she does not.
Have you heard Nick sing?
No,
Nick
I didn't even know
sings.
he can sing.
He got a whole album.
Like a singing
He has
album.
an R&B album on Apple Music right now. Nick, I got your album.
I'm not surprised that you know that because you were like obsessed with him.
I'm not obsessed with him.
Clearly, no one else besides Aaron
I am a
listens to Nick
fan
Cannon's
of the man.
R&B
He is
album.
an icon.
I don't disagree with that.
Yes. Go. This is what I want you to do. Before next week's show, I want you to listen to the album.
No,
Okay.
I'll pass.
I'm
Y'all must stop
definitely intrigued. I'm not
disrespecting
gonna lie. I'm intrigued.
They for my birthday, they was like, "Yo, you seriously a Nick Cannon fan?" I was like, "Yeah." They was like, "All right, I'm gonna play a song. If this shit don't hit, nigga, get the fuck out the room. It's my room," and they kicked me out the room. I thought the
Because
song
it
was,
sucked.
I thought the song was good. I picked the song. It was really.
You
good.
know the name of the song?
Yeah, it's called Madoff.
I'm gonna look it up
Yeah.
after, and I'll let you know.
Yes. And
Like,
then Ghetto
this shit-
Blues.
I'm
That's my
gonna listen
favorite
to it
Nick
in my
Cannon
car
song.
too, because then in the car you could really like hear songs. So
It's really good.
I'm gonna check it out. But okay. So any last things you want to shout out before we wrap up episode 15?
Shout out to me revamping my candle business. I'm looking forward to having this like little week off between Christmas and New Year, so I can just like come home and work on my business.
Yes.
And like dedicate time. It's very, very hard being a teacher full time and then coming home and wanting to be an entrepreneur, but still having to be like an adult
Yeah, that's
and
the
clean
sacrifice.
and et cetera, et cetera.
Exactly.
That's
you
why
gotta
you hire a
find
maid.
time.
You got made money?
You do.
I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a whole teacher. You know what? We
Look,
get paid.
Go to the Home Depot on Bloomfield. Go at like 6 in the morning.
It's a no for me. You already started off wrong. I know where you're going.
I'm just saying.
It's
They
a no.
they with it.
But
That's
yeah, no.
that's what the white guys do.
That's what I'm doing. Working on my candle business, revamping because I want to launch these 2 new collections that I wanted to do in September, but you know, everything in time.
Yes, everything in due time. But shout out to you for your candles because like I love candles and I'm always looking to buy more. So
Yeah,
I gotta check that out.
I always suggest to men, don't buy flowers for women. Buy them candles. Women love candles.
We like both. I'm a flowers and candles girl.
I'm
Okay.
not a flower girl.
See, as
Like, I'll
someone
accept
who,
them, but they die.
As someone who knows the
You
game,
gotta change the water.
They
every
still
other
die.
day and put ice in it.
They still
It
die.
lasts longer.
But they still die.
They die after like a week and a half.
They die.
if you do
They
that.
die though. You're clipping them. I'd rather, if you're going to get me something, give me a plant. It's going to grow.
I like plants.
Don't give me flowers. Give me a
I
plant.
like the
Get
look
them a
of
candle.
flowers. That's why I get them. Like I literally buy flowers like every 3 weeks.
I like,
they die.
Myself.
I like the idea of them, but the fact that they die, I'd rather you give me something I can nurture.
so not a dog because they die.
No, because that has happened
You
to me
have to
already.
take care of them.
I'm just saying. She
But
said
that
she,
has happened to me already.
you killed the dog.
No,
Oh.
you tried it. Someone got me a pet for my 18th birthday.
And she killed the pet.
No, I didn't. She
This is the
died of
story.
natural causes
My girl
literally
passed
2
away
years ago.
last year, so I'm not even
I'm
gonna get
sorry.
into that.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
like so. No,
It's
don't
very
give me an
sentimental.
animal. I don't want another animal. After dealing with the grief of losing my cat, like
It's literally
no.
like your baby,
Yes.
like a child.
Yes, I don't.
Yeah.
Don't give me no. I'm
I
good.
meant no harm in the production.
I'll do flowers, candles, and plants. Like I'll do all of that.
Yeah,
so
I'll do
if you wanna
implants
give
too.
me a gift,
Like if you want a BBL, I got
Did you say implants? I knew you just said implants.
That's what she said.
guys,
She said and plants.
we're gonna wrap this up because this conversation is going left. But thank you for joining us on episode 15. And
Thanks for
guys,
having me.
Make sure y'all hit up the Gmail, WOAWpod@gmail.com.
You had to really focus just then to say that.
First off, I know that. You know what? Wrap it up.
we outside and we out.
Here we out.
Bye.
I know.